So today we're going to be going over 5 fragrances that seem to have a bit of a cult following, and for most of these here I'm going to try to explain why I think that is. As I said, I'm only going over 5 here, but there's a lot more that I could probably come up with because there are quite a few fragrances out there that just have a big group of people who will fight to the death if you dare to say anything potentially offensive about them. And I always kind of find it an interesting topic, so I figured I'd go ahead and cover it in a video. I will link to all these fragrances down below in the video description so you can check them out and pick them up if you want to grab any for yourself. And without further ado, let's just jump right into this one today, and we're going to start it off with an extremely obvious one, and quite honestly, the first fragrance that came to mind when I thought about this topic, and that is the almighty Creed Aventus. Bergamot, pineapple, birch, musk are some of the main notes, apple as well. I mean, there's a ton of notes in Aventus. And I'm sure you've heard that note breakdown a million times, so here it is just one more time. And yeah, this one is pretty obvious. I think we can all agree that Aventus has amassed a serious cult following, and it has a large group of people who will fight to the death. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make it sound like I'm laughing about that or I'm hating on Aventus or any of these fragrances, because all the fragrances in this video, for the most part, I really love, and Aventus is one of them. However, for me, it doesn't bother me as much if someone were to say that Aventus sucks, right? I would just say, okay, and go on with my day. Some other people will fight to the death, and they'll take time out of their day to make sure you know that, yes, Aventus does not suck, you're wrong, you're stupid. And that's kind of how this stuff goes down with these cult followings behind these fragrances. People will fight to the death. So why is that? Why is it that Aventus has such a cult following? Well, I have a couple theories. First one being that, when this first came out, it was unlike anything that had ever been put out before. Nowadays, if an Aventus styled scent comes out, obviously we've smelled it thousands of times at this point. But back in 2010, it was unheard of. So I think getting that new, exciting type of scent and the fact that it also gets really good compliments really started to draw people to it. Pair that with the fact that it is a luxury product, it's a niche scent, people really like that as well. It makes them feel like they are, a bit more frivolous, and well, you are if you purchase a bottle of this stuff. I mean, it is not cheap. Another reason, and this is probably the main one, is the batch variation. This is kind of the whole pinnacle of the Aventus cult following, is the batch variations. Yes, it is a thing. Yes, I do believe that there are differences in batches. I own multiple different batches myself, and so I think that this is one of the main reasons why people gravitate towards it so much, because it's fun, it's interesting. You're able to go out there and do research on these different batch variations from different years and then build up your collection from there. And again, going back to it, if you were to say that batch variations don't exist, it's not real, it's fake, they will quite literally go in on you and fight you to the death. It's just how this stuff works. This next one, we have a fragrance from Guerlain, but it's not maybe what you're thinking. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. This one is L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. Cherry and almond are a couple of the main notes, and I have to say, this here is an absolute stunner of a scent. I wish I had my bottle here with me because I would be wearing it and smelling it right now. It's a beautiful day outside, a nice 64 degrees, a little bit of a crisp morning, and it feels great. And this is the type of weather that this Guerlain is perfect for. Fall and into winter, this is a stunning scent. I love it so much, and it never used to be that way. When I first got it, I wasn't a big fan. I ended up getting rid of that bottle initially. Now I have another bottle of it, and it's here to stay. I love this stuff. I can't get enough of it. There's something so addicting, the way the cherry comes across with the lavender. It is high-end, it is masculine, it is just a different experience. It's a different type of men's cologne, and that's why I love it so much, and I think that's why a lot of other people love it as well. Now, if you look, there's a pretty decent cult following behind this one as well. Not to the extent that Aventus is, because there's not the batch variation and all of that type of stuff. It's not on that level, but there are a lot of people who really stand behind and love this Guerlain. Myself 100% included. Why do I think that is? Well, kind of going to be a similar thing with Aventus, is that when this came out, it was different, right? Of course, we had the original first, L'Homme Ideal Eau de Toilette, but the Eau de Parfum really steps it up, really kind of brings the heat, it makes it to the next level, and I think that's why kind of the general consensus here is that the Eau de Parfum is the better scent overall. and I use better loosely. It's just kind of the favorite. That's what people love. The Eau de Toilette is great, and in fact the whole line is great, but the EDP kind of seems to be the one that people talk about the most. And I think it is because it just strikes a perfect balance of being unique, being exciting, being different, and at the same time just having this smooth manner about it, just the smooth gentleman. You know, this is something that a gentleman with class and sophistication would wear. It comes across and you can smell it immediately. It's a great scent that comes in at an affordable price, and honestly it just checks all the boxes here. This next one is another obvious one, but it is one that had to be put in here, and this is probably the second biggest cult following within this video. Outside of this video, sure, there could be more, whatever, but I would say, kind of taking a brief look here, this probably is the second biggest, although it may be close. This is, of course, Dior Savage. Bergamot, ambroxan, black pepper are some of the main notes. Yep, another standard one. You've heard that a million times. You know what it smells like. I'm sure when I say Savage, you can smell it. Like, I can actually feel the tingling spicy sharpness in my nose when I say Savage and when I think about it. It almost sometimes makes me a little bit nauseated. And I'm a big fan of Savage, don't get me wrong. I've got a lot of bottles of the EDT, I've got the EDP, I got the Parfum. I'm a proponent of it. It works great, I like it. But sometimes, yeah, it is a bit harsh, and especially early in the morning, smelling that strong peppery sharpness, it's not really for me. But I think we can all agree that yes, this fragrance has amassed a serious, die-hard, loyal cult following. If you dare to say that Savage is nothing but a synthetic, generic piece of crap, you will be attacked brutally. It is not pretty. I've seen it happen in the comments multiple times, and yeah, it's out for blood. And that's just kind of how it's always been, especially as it's continued to pick up more and more hype, right? Because then it's getting talked about bigger channels outside of the fragrance community. It's on billboards, it's everywhere. So naturally, the niche snobs and just the kind of the purists of the fragrance community are going to give their opinion and say that, you know, they're not a fan of it, it's a bit too synthetic for them or whatever. And then on the other hand, you have the people who are not really purists, and they are the compliment getter, you know, panty dropper type of people. That's what they want. They come in, and then it's just butting heads, and it gets crazy. Why does this one have such a cult following? Really simple. It's got beast mode performance, very strong stuff. It is a fantastic compliment getter. You can't argue with the fact that it is a mass-pleasing monster. And, well, I don't know, just kind of that combination there seemed to work really well. It just caught up so much popularity, so much hype, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Even still, people are still raving about and loving the Eau de Toilette. I mean, it hasn't been out for that long. I mean, you take a look at Aventus, 21 years now, but, you know, people are still going strong, and Savage is not going to be going away anytime soon. If you love Savage, wear it. It's a great scent, it works great, and I'm not knocking anyone here. These are all good fragrances. This next one is one that could rival Savage a little bit in terms of the popularity, because this goes out to the masses. Some of the other ones here in this video are more centered within the community, but Savage and Paco Rabanne Invictus go outside of the masses. C notes, ambroxan, and grapefruit are some of the main notes. It's salty, it's bubblegummy, it's sweet, it's another compliment monster of a scent, and yeah, Invictus has a ton of die-hard fans. Again, I'm not hating, because myself personally, I'm a really big fan of Invictus Aqua. Just that one though. All of the others I can kind of do without, but Invictus Aqua, for nostalgia reasons, is one of my favorites, and I've always kind of gravitated towards that one. I don't wear it nearly as much as I used to, but it's always kind of in the back of my head. It's just a really nice, playful summer scent. The original Invictus and everything else isn't so much my style. It's not something I reach for, but a lot of people do, and that's awesome. Similar thing here. If you were to say that Invictus is bubblegummy and juvenile and terrible and synthetic and trash, I'm sorry. You're gonna have some people on your tail. It's all great though, you know, people have their passions, people have the scents that they're crazy about, and a lot of people are crazy about Invictus. It's another one of those fragrances that works well. It's got great performance, great mass appeal, good for summertime, really good for any time of the year, all of that stuff. It just checks all the boxes. When you combine that with the marketing of this one, that kind of also helps to reach outside of the community. People see the trophy bottle and they want it. And really, it's just kind of a combination of those two things across the board here with these scents. you know, it's a bit of marketing plus just a really good fragrance, you know, something that a lot of people love the smell of. With Dior Savage, they had Johnny Depp as the face of the scent, and it was all over every big city on all the billboards, and I believe still is. Yeah, it's bound and determined to work at that point. This last one, we actually have another Dior fragrance. Kudos to Dior for making it in here a couple times, and they could probably make it in a couple more times as well. I'm sure you know what this is going to be, and that is, well, Dior Homme Intense. Iris, lavender, and ambrette are some of the main notes. I can 100% fully stand behind Dior Homme Intense. In fact, I am one of the cult followers. It is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I still remember the first time I smelled it. It was from a sample, and I was very new to fragrances and new to collecting. I thought I was going to hate it because people talked about this lipsticky type of smell, and I was the opposite. I fell in love with it. Fast forward to now, I have a few bottles of this one, and I still love it. Fall and winter time, it is a beast, and I can't get enough of it. So why does this one work so well? Well, you know, it's another one kind of like the Guerlain, where it's actually a flanker, right? With the Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum, that is a flanker of the Eau de Toilette. Dior Homme Intense is obviously a flanker of Dior Homme, the original. So what they did here with the Intense version was that they amped it up. They made it a bit more rich, a bit more sweet. It just has a bit more going on. The original Dior Homme is really nice for the office, whereas Dior Homme Intense is nice for a date or an evening or something like that. Something a bit more dressed up and, you know, a bit more slowed down and quiet. Dior Homme is for the hustle and bustle of the city, walking down the streets of Chicago, getting to work, getting to the office. Dior Homme Intense is for when the evening comes around, things start to slow down and you're with your significant other or just a nice evening event. It's another one that is sophisticated and classy and well put together, and it's just 100% unique, unlike anything else out there, aside from the clones that have cloned it, but when it first came out, yeah, there was nothing else like it. Surprisingly enough, with Dior Homme Intense, it has good mass appeal as well. I mean, this will get you compliments. You have to carry yourself properly, you have to really wear it with confidence, and it has to be the right person smelling it, but a lot of times, yeah, you'll get some positive feedback. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. That was 5 fragrances that have really amassed a cult following, and just kind of my explanation on why I think that is. Again, this is only 5. I could probably do another 5 more if I wanted to, so if you guys like this video, I'll do another one. And remember, if you have any interest in these fragrances, I will link them down below to discounters so you can check them out and pick them up. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.